The connective tissue category is pretty diverse. Look at the different functions: binding, supporting, protecting, serving as a framework, filling spaces, store fat, produce blood cells, protect against infection, repair tissue damage. So many functions. They differ from epithelial tissues in that the cells are far apart, hence the raisin bread. The raisins represent the cells, and they're separated from each other by what's called extracellular matrix. Extracellular means outside the cell. And most types of connective tissue have a good blood supply. That would be their vascular. Cartilage is an exception. There are three types of connective tissue cells. The fibroblast produces fibers. It's the most common type of cell, and it's star-shaped. The macrophage wanders around the body and fights infection, and the mast cell releases chemicals, both heparin, which is an anticoagulant, and histamine, which promotes inflammation. Here are some pictures. On the left is the macrophage. There are several macrophages in this photo, and they are engulfing the larger cell. On the right are mast cells. Mast cells produce heparin and histamine, and at the bottom right is a fibroblast, a star-shaped cell that produces fibers. Which of the following is not one of the cell types? A is the correct answer. Connective tissues have three types of cells, and there are also three types of fibers. Collagenous fibers are very thick white fibers made of the protein collagen, and they provide strength throughout the body. Elastic fibers are yellow and stretchy. They're very flexible. Reticular fibers are also made of collagen, but they're very thin fibers and provide a supportive network. Which of the following is not a type of fiber? B, fibrous. So now we're getting into our different types of connective tissue. One is loose connective or areolar tissue. It forms very thin, delicate membranes that bind body parts together. Look at the picture. You can see fibroblasts. You can see these cells with the nucleus, and they are separated by a gel-like ground substance that contains many different fibers. So you can see your larger collagenous fibers and your thin elastic fibers. This tissue is quite common in Americans. It is adipose tissue, storage of fat. It is a loose connective tissue found beneath our skin, around our joints, and around our heart, and obviously around our abdominal area. Dense connective tissue is composed of collagen. These fibers are very tightly packed to provide incredible strength. There is not a very good blood supply here. Examples of dense connective tissue include tendons that connect muscles to bones, and ligaments that connect bones to bones within a joint. If either of these is damaged, it takes a long time to heal because the blood supply is so poor. Cartilage is a rigid connective tissue. It has a very poor blood supply and is considered avascular. Cartilage cells are chondrocytes. There are three types of cartilage, the most common being hyaline cartilage. It's white. It's found in our joints at the end of our bones, and it supports our nose. Elastic cartilage is certainly more elastic. If you flop your outer ears, you're going to find it bends quite easily. That's elastic cartilage. And fibrocartilage is really tough and dense, and that would be found as our discs between our vertebrae and in the knees and the pelvic girdle. Bone is connective tissue. It is composed of the mineral salt calcium phosphate and the protein collagen. Bones support the body. They protect. They form muscle attachments to provide movement. Bone is the site for blood cell formation. The bone cell is called the osteocyte. So whenever you see the term osteo, you have to think bone. These cells, the osteocytes, this small black structure here is an osteocyte, is living in a little cavity in the bone here, and that cavity is called a lacuna. Each of these cells connects to each other cell by canaliculi, and there's a very good blood supply to this bone as the blood vessels travel up and down through this central canal. This circular structure here of the bone is called an osteon. Blood is also a connective tissue. The cells are red blood cells or erythrocytes, white blood cells or leukocytes, and platelets or thrombocytes. The function of blood is to transport nutrients, hormones, gases, wastes throughout the body.